Right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call to order the regularly scheduled meeting of the Beloit City Council. It is now 7 p.m. in the forum at City Hall on January 5th, 2015. This is our first meeting of the year. Roll call.
Roll call shows Councilors Kelly and Spreitzer absent.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Number 3 is special orders of the day and announcements. We have none today, so item 4 is public hearings. Item 4A.
A resolution authorizing an amended planned unit development PUD master land use plan for the property located at 2250 West Hart Road. The Plan Commission recommended approval 6-0.
Mrs. Christensen.
In 2004, the City Council approved a PUD master land use plan that included 14 4-unit buildings on the land that is the subject of this request, but the subdivision plat was never recorded and the development never materialized. What this development is a multi-phase assisted living facility that includes a residential care apartment complex wing, a community-based residential facility wing with a shared administration, commons, and kitchen area, and the facility will be 1 story in height. Because this is a change from what was originally approved, it requires an amendment to that PUD master land use plan. Their first phase includes the 46,500 square foot, 46 unit RCAC, or the residential care apartment complex. The second phase would include the 30 unit CBRF. The third phase includes a possible 14 unit RCAC addition, and the fourth phase includes a possible 10 unit CBRF addition for a total of 100 units, which is a residential density of 15.5 units per acre. They are planning to commission a certified survey map to subdivide and purchase the land included in the PUD, leaving the remaining single-family portion of the Park Meadow North Phase 4 unplatted and undeveloped. We did send this out to the review agents, from a planning perspective, the group living facilities must include at least half off-street parking stall per resident room, which this development does meet that standard with 62 off-street parking stalls. At planning staff's request, the PUD does include a sidewalk between the dead-end sidewalk along West Hart Road and the front entrance of the proposed assisted living facility. The fire department reviewed the proposed PUD and has requested an additional fire hydrant near the Y-shaped turnaround behind the RCAC, and that the turnaround areas be signed as fire lanes. The city engineer has reviewed the proposed PUD and has noted that stormwater quality and quantity requirements must be met and recommended the vacation of Tuckaway Lane. The other review agents didn't have any comments. We did send a public notice out to the property owners within 150 feet of the proposed facility, and we did hear from one neighbor who does not want any development on the subject site. No residents came to the Plan Commission meeting when they held a public hearing. They actually held 2 public hearings because we had laid it over in the middle, and no one came out for or against it. Plan Commission did recommend approval subject to the conditions which are listed in your resolution, which is that this approval authorizes the construction of a licensed assisted living facility with up to 100 units of group living in lieu of the 56 approved multifamily units shown on the original PUD master land use plan approved in 2004. Prior to the issuance of a building permit, the applicant shall record a certified survey map that includes the proposed facility site and the remaining 13.71 acres of the subject property, and the CSM shall include a utility easement to accommodate existing utility mains and shall include the Tuckaway Lane right-of-way if it has been vacated. Prior to the issuance of a building permit, the applicant shall, at developer's cost, relocate the existing public water and sewer mains into an approved utility easement, and the city engineer shall approve relocation plans prior to construction. This project shall include at least 1 fire hydrant near the Y-shaped turnaround behind the RCAC, and all paved non-parking areas shall be signed as a fire lane. Both Y-shaped fire lanes shall be constructed during the first phase. The new sidewalk connection to West Hart Road and the landscape berms shall be included in the first phase. The minimum building setback shall be 30 feet, and the maximum height shall be 1 story. This development may have up to 2 monument signs of up to 100 square feet in area each. All other approved uses and conditions associated with the original PUD approval remain in full force and effect. Prior to issuance of a building permit, the applicant shall submit a PUD final plan that reflects the conditions above and detailed site and architectural plans for planning staff review and approval, and then just our standard condition about major changes coming back through this public process and minor changes being approved administratively.
Thank you. I'd like to open the public hearing on item 4A. Anyone wishing to come and speak on item 4A, please approach the podium and state your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Scott Shadle. I'm the managing partner for the applicant. My address is 2916 North Hall Road, Whitewater. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them. Also present tonight is Mr. Robert Gummer from PDC Midwest, our architectural firm and construction firm.
Thank you. I think after the public hearing, we may indeed
Okay.
entertain some questions.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you.
Any other persons wishing to come forward and speak on item 4A? Second call for persons to come forward and speak on item 4A. Third and final call for persons to come forward and speak on item 4A. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing on item 4A. Do I have a motion for approval?
Motion for approval. I'll second.
Moved by Lupke, second by DeForest. Do we have any questions or comments? Councilor DeForest.
Thank you. I do have some questions. Ms. Christensen, in regard to the question I had sent earlier by email about the vacation of Tuckaway Lane, is the plan to vacate?
Well, at this point, the condition says we're recommending it, but we will be working with the applicant, and we are hoping to just have it vacated because it only serves them. The lot that's next to Tuckaway Lane is served by, I think it's Claremont, which runs in front of it. So we'll work through that process with the applicant.
Okay, great. And then also I wanted to ask about the one resident who expressed concern. He or she didn't submit anything in writing. They just,
Said they didn't want anything developed on that site.
okay, did they submit something in writing?
No,
Because it wasn't in our packets.
It was a phone call.
Okay,
So it's included, if you look in the staff report, it's
okay,
on one of the pages. After the public notice, it basically, the owner, one of the property owners on Northfield Lane does not want any development on the subject site
at all?
at all.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Sure.
Do we have any other questions or comments on item 4A? Hearing none, I'll call the matter. All in favor of 4A, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item passes 5-0. Item 4B.
A resolution authorizing a conditional use permit to allow a daycare center in an R3 low-density multifamily residential zoning district for the property located at 819 Clary Street. The Plan Commission recommended approval 6-0.
Madam Director.
Little Turtles Playhouse is seeking approval to move their child care facilities from 706 Emerson Street to the property at 819 Clary Street. If the conditional use permit is approved, a purchase agreement will be formalized between Little Turtles Playhouse and Beloit College, the current owner. An outdoor play area and fencing will be added, but no other exterior renovations are proposed. 9 terrace parking stalls are available, meeting the minimum required by code. Operations are anticipated to remain the same at the new location. I think they're currently open 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. That will continue. They have 4 or 5 staff members on site at any given time, and then they are licensed to have up to 30 children under the age of 6 in their care at any given time. We did send this out to the city's review agents. The engineering department would like the driveway on Park Avenue removed and the curb and gutter restored. The driveway serves no purpose, and restoring the curb will allow for more on-street parking on Park Avenue. And a condition of approval has been added to reflect this. No other comments or concerns were submitted. The public notice was sent to the nearby property owners, and the neighbors did come out at the Plan Commission meeting. We did, one neighbor who lives next door got up and spoke and said she's right next door, she has no problem with it at all. And the neighbors who were noticed, plus Bill Doerr, were there, and they're supportive of this request, is what they indicated. So Planning Commission did recommend approval, subject to the conditions listed in the staff report, which is that this conditional use permit authorizes a licensed child care facility at the subject property. The driveway on Park Avenue shall be removed and the curb and gutter restored to full head prior to the childcare use being established at the subject property. Hours of operation shall not extend past 8 p.m. And then just the standard condition about major changes coming back to this public process and minor changes being approved administratively.
Thank you. I'd like to open the public hearing on item 4B. Anyone wishing to speak on item 4B, please approach the podium and state your name and address.
Good evening. Joe Stottleman, 2431 East Ridge Road. I am representing Little Turtles Playhouse as an architect with Angus Young Associates, and I'm the one that wrote the application for this grant. So I'm just here to answer any questions if you have any.
Oh, thank you.
Sure.
Do we have any other persons wishing to come forward and speak on item 4B? Second call for persons to come forward and speak on item 4B. Third and final call for persons to come forward and speak on item 4B. Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing and entertain a motion to approve.
Second.
Moved by Lubke, second by Hendricks. Councilor Lubke.
I'm very favorable in this matter. I having had my own children go to the Children's Creative Center, which this became an offshoot by the college, and now they're going to move into this building. This building used to be the rectory for St. Paul's Catholic Church. I think the Father DiStefano, I think he's the only priest that lived in that house. And I think it became a fraternity house for Beloit College afterwards, didn't it, Sheila? Went to parties there? But anyway, it's I think it's a very positive move for the little angels. Little turtles. Okay. Turtles. Okay. Joe, I want a big turtle put up on the wall. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Councilor DeForest.
Thank you. I hope my laughter doesn't feign any misconduct on my part. My children also went to CCC, so it does have a soft spot for me, and the turtle is the mascot of Beloit College, just to make sure all the public knows that. I did have a question, Joe. I was hoping maybe you could answer for me. I wanted to make sure that, because it is a daycare, and I know that it's not a fully flowing revenue generator, it's hard for daycares to survive and function. I was wondering if you know if your client finds it cost prohibitive that we've made the condition to eliminate the driveway and to put in the curb and gutter. Do you think that they'll be able to handle that?
They have agreed to any of the conditions that were put out in the
I
Plan
just wanted to
Commission
make
meeting.
sure.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
sure.
Any other questions or comments? All right, I'll call the matter. All in favor of approving item 4B, say aye. 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 Any opposed? Item passes 5-0. Item 5 is citizens' participation. We have reached the point on the meeting for members of the public to speak to the council about issues that are coming before us or may come before us in the future. The council will not act on any requests at this evening meeting unless the item you are speaking of is already on our agenda, but we may act on requests at a future meeting, or we may refer a speaker to staff for existence. We ask that you hold your comments to 3 minutes or less and avoid making personal attacks. I have no sheets, but does anyone wish to come forward and speak under citizens' participation? Please approach the podium and state your name and address.
Hi, Lucas Schultz, 2010 Crest Road, Beloit, Wisconsin. I'd like to speak in a future sense of the old Cary building. Is going through some transitions. There may be a sale possibly pending. I'd like to urge the council to take a look at the Cary building as a museum for industry of the area and a showcase to showcase the ongoing industry. I think it'd be very good for the community. Everybody I talk to about it is very excited about it. Not sure where the plans are right now, but if there's anything that the council can do to maybe proceed with this, I'd like to see that happen, other than it go to another cut up into little bitty workspaces for other businesses and stuff. Be a great opportunity for this community. Could even be a nationwide showcase. So, if there's anything you can do to help, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Any other persons wishing to come forward and speak under citizens' participation? Second call for persons to come forward and speak under citizens' participation. Third and final call for persons to come forward and speak under citizens' participation. Hearing none, I'll close citizens' participation and we'll move on to number 6, the consent agenda. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion. There'll be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered at this point on the agenda. Does any councilor wish anything removed from the consent agenda? Hearing none, the consent agenda consists of items 6A through 6D. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll move approval of the consent agenda.
Moved by DeForest, second by Kincaid. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item passes 5-0. Item 7 is ordinances. We have none, nor any appointments for number 8. Councilor upcoming activities and upcoming events. Councilor DeForest.
Thank you. I would like to encourage the public to attend Winterfest activities that will be occurring just in a couple weeks now. If you'd like to find out more about those activities, you can go to the City of Beloit website or you can call our Parks and Recreation Department. Lots of fun things for families to do. I'm sure you're starting to feel cabin fever already, even though it's only been cold for a few days. So it would be a great way to get out, enjoy the outdoors. We'll have some warming facilities available so that you can go play out in the cold for a while and then warm up. So again, those Winterfest activities are wonderful. Thank you to our Parks and Leisure Services Department for organizing those, who do that in collaboration with several community organizations across the city. So it's a wonderful community event. I also want to make sure that I take this time to thank all of our service and safety workers during this time, our police and fire and our DPW workers who make themselves available to us 24/7 and who are out working in this bitterly cold weather. I want to thank our snowplowers who will most likely be out very soon again at ungodly times of the night, out in the cold, making our streets safe. And of course, our police and fire and paramedic crew who are also always doing the same. I came across an accident recently in the city and it was horribly cold, and I just could not believe they're out there working in that horrible cold for who knows how long. So I just want to appreciate them and extend my gratitude to all that they do for our city. Thank you.
Councilor Lupke.
I was honored today with Councilor Kincaid to attend the swearing-in ceremony at the State Capitol Supreme Court Chambers for Council President Mark Spreitzer. Very nice ceremony. Led by the Supreme Court Justice. I think Beloit's very lucky to have people of the caliber of both Sheila DeForest and Mark, who ran a very spirited campaign a few months ago. Nobody else stepped forward, and I think this just shows some of the leadership that we have in Beloit. But Mark will be leaving us in a few months, but hopefully he can help bring more progress and growth to Beloit in his new position. That's all I have.
Councilor Hendricks.
Hello. I have been asked and humbly accepted the the position, or I guess the opportunity to be the keynote speaker at the Beloit College Martin Luther King Convocation. And that will be held on Monday, January 19th at 4:00 p.m. On the Beloit College campus, Eden Chapel. So I invite all of you to attend. It's a great service anyway, every year, but I'll be there this year on stage, so come support. And then if you have any questions about the actual activity or any other activities going on for the Martin Luther King holiday, then you can feel free to contact me. Again, that's at 4:15. I don't know that I said that, at Eden Chapel on the Beloit College campus.
Thank you. Councilor Kincaid.
Thank you. Councilor Lupke didn't mention, but I want to assure everyone that there was not a quorum at that meeting at Madison this afternoon. So we conducted no official business or even unofficial business. But it was certainly a highlight for me to and for many of us to see the swearing-in ceremony, and just a fair amount of pomp and circumstance, which we all appreciate. And I want to tell you that his office is really nice. So it's not the biggest, probably the smallest one, but it is very nice. Go visit the guy. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. And I'm sorry that I missed that. I'm certainly tempted to attend the convocation if I can get off for it. But I will remind people that this upcoming week is going to be absolutely bitterly, dangerously cold. And so please take reasonable precautions. Say if you have a chance to say your appreciations to staff who are out there working, please make sure that you get your appreciation. And that's all I have today. And so we'll move on to item 10, the city manager's presentation, 10A.
The Visit Beloit 2014 Year in Review presentation.
Good evening, Happy New Year, and thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight about some of the accomplishments Visit Beloit and the city of Beloit shared this past year. I have my staff with me because, it's a group effort in moving the marketing of this community forward. So I'll speak very quickly. I have a number of slides, but I believe you have copies of those slides as well. So our mission always and foremost is consistency, relevancy, impact on our marketing efforts, and then we always follow up with proof of performance. So marketing is a contest for people's attention. So how did we get people's attention this year? We have our Visit Beloit Cruiser and the Go-To Crew. We participated in 90 events this past year, and we were in a number of parades. We collected a database of close to 2,000 emails. So as we were out, we were getting names and emails and information of individuals who wanted to learn more about our community. We follow up with a monthly newsletter listing all the great things you can do in our community. We traveled to Rockton, Roscoe, Rockton, Clinton, Janesville, Lake Geneva. This year we're going to go a little further. We have plans to go to Madison, Milwaukee, and forward, spreading all the great things that are going on here in Beloit. We have Shelby, our mascot. She helps at our parades and all of our events. She is a real crowd gatherer, so we added her to our Go-To Crew this past summer. We took a different approach with regional advertising. Rather than just listing one event or one place to go, we wanted to create a feel. And so this year we focused on our restaurants, our sustainability, our handmade items in our community, and this was in Food Traveler magazine nationwide. So this was one of the ads in which we tried to do an advertorial. We did a lot of local advertising, and one of the unique things we did, a local company came to us and said, we're having a hard time getting interns to come and work for us in the summer. They don't think there's anything to do. Well, we know that's not necessarily true, so we put this piece together, Spending Your Summer in Beloit. We followed up with that on social media, and the good news was they were able to recruit. It wasn't the only reason, but part of that successful recruitment was having opportunities for these young interns to do things in the summer. We have a radio show every Saturday from 11 to 2. We interview 2 to 3 people about what's going on in this region, and that's Beloit, South Beloit, Rockton, and Roscoe. Our social media platform is probably one of the things I'm most proud of this year. Our Facebook likes are nearing close to 5,000. And on our average post, every post that we make, at least 100 likes, we get 18 shares. 18 comments at least, 14 shares, and look at that organic reach. At least almost 2,000 people who are seeing the post and positive information we're putting out about our community. Our Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube accounts are up substantially year over year. One of the things which was a little mission drift for our organization, but certainly with a purpose, was the development of the This is Beloit website. Beloit 2020 came to visit Beloit and said, we need a recruiting relocation tool for the employees that we want to choose to work for us, but also live here. I have to tell you, if you have not been to This Is Beloit website, it's just thisisbeloit.com, please do. The results have been overwhelmingly successful. By October, we just launched in the beginning of the October, close to 14,000 hits, you can see. 86.7% of all traffic returned to that site. The cities that had the highest hits, I've listed for you to review, and the countries that also, and that may give a nod to those companies within our community who are bringing people internationally here to our city. But one of the facts that was most amazing to me, the number one page that brought more entry into this website than any other was the page with Diane Hendricks on it. We did an innovation page in which we talk about Diane and what they're doing here. That was the number one entry point, and then individuals stayed on there longer than any other page on our website. But you're going to see there's video on there, there's photography, there's stories about why people choose to live here. Larry was on top of the science building. We took a picture of him. What he won't tell you, I hope I'm not sharing too much, is he was covered in bugs from head to toe during that photo shoot. Everywhere. They had to Photoshop it off. So if that alone doesn't encourage you to at least go look at some of the photography work, I hope that story does. We really spent a lot of time on photos, videos, and blogs because what we want the information out on the internet to be what is actually happening within our community. So if you Google images of Beloit, you're going to see great photography work from local bloggers, individuals in our community who help us blog and tell stories. Great photography work and some video, and I listed a little bit of highlights there. Certainly the Come on the Knock on Our Doors campaign was a very successful campaign, and I thank the city and council for its support. We earned over $260,000 in earned media revenue. So how do we account for that? We look at all the television exposure we received in Madison and Rockford, the articles written, the blogs, the photographs. We did not pay $260,000. That's what we earned in media exposure. And again, we brought home a WACVB Tourism Trailblazer Award, second time in a row for the city of Beloit to receive that for the marketing of the doors. Sales, so long as new ideas are created, sales will continue to reach new highs. Our amateur sports market rocked this past summer. We hosted two of the largest tournaments in the state of Wisconsin that had never been here before. One in the summer and then one in the fall. We had 13 weekends of booked tourism business, which means heads and beds for us. Those families come in and they stay overnight. And Regina's nodding, she sits on our board, and those numbers have been reflected. We're going to continue to work the amateur sports market. Okay, I'm hitting forward. Larry, it's not moving. Huh. Can you move it from your...
No, it's locked up. Just give it a second.
Okay.
Ad-lib for a minute.
I'll ad-lib. The other things we did is meetings mean business. And we went out to find meetings, small market meetings that we could host in our city. One of the things that we hosted was Sports Wisconsin. They were here this summer, and many of the people who participated in that conference had never been in the city of Beloit before. So we always find that it's a great opportunity to enlighten them on what's going on. In about 2 weeks, we're hosting the Wisconsin Association of Convention and Visitors Bureaus here for a 2-day conference again. So the amateur sports market and the meetings market are two markets we're actively going after. I'm ad-libbing. One of the other things I'd like to talk about is the success at our Welcome Center. As you know, we have the most visited Welcome Center in the state of Wisconsin. 1.5 to 1.7 million people come through that Welcome Center. We have a staff out there that we work with, and many people don't know that we, I'm at Bones. Well, that's all right. I'm going to talk about the Welcome Center. It's okay. There is a staff out there that helps us take care of all those visitors and inventory of hundreds of thousands of brochures. I listed 3 events that took place this past year that were a little bit new and interesting, called Bones, Bikes, and Horseshoes. We hosted our first Cube Tournament. You know, we received a silver award for that with Parks and Leisure. And we're working on that again to bring that tournament back and hopefully increasing the number of states that participated. We will be hosting the Criterium again this summer and expect even more individuals than we did last year. And horseshoes, we have one of the few horseshoe pits that are nationally sanctioned, and we host, we have hosted Team World here, 20 teams, 29th annual event. One of the things that we do that a lot of people don't know is that we help service when these events come in. We make sure there's welcome signs on hotels' front desks. We make sure that individuals know that the community's here. We did a lot of customer service training this year. And we worked with the hotels for an entire year, and we did worked with the restaurants as well to make sure that when our visitors and residents are in a restaurant or staying at a hotel, that they're greeted and taken care of successfully. And finally, one of the things we found is that many of our front desk people have never been out in our community. We started what we called FAM tours every other month. What we do is we set up a tour of a site, an attraction, and a restaurant. And we take the front desk staff on this tour so they can really talk about our community. What's nice is that's in collaboration with the hotels. They are paying for their staff to do this. They're paying them. And then many of the restaurants and sites and attractions are donating their food, time, and experience. So for us, this has been a win-win. The hotels have been very happy with that, and we're going to continue to do that through 2015. So I think that's it. I know we got a little off on the slides, but you have all the slides in front of you, and if you have any further questions, you know, I have to thank my staff, the support of the city, and all of our partners who work with us to really make Beloit a great destination and a great place to live.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Monica. Councilor Lupke?
Monica, I just wanted to applaud you and your staff for the outreach, especially when I saw the 5 young people you hired to go out. When you're going to Clinton and Rockton, Roscoe, and these other areas, you're helping to put aside any negative perceptions of Beloit by, you know, it's such a positive thing. So that's a very good thing to do.
Thank you.
Very neat.
Thank you. We'll have 5 new interns this summer as well.
Councilor DeForest?
Thank you. I am absolutely thrilled with all of the great things that have happened since you've come on board, Monica. So thank you to you and your staff. The FAM tours has been needed for a long time, so I'm so glad that that's working well. I wanted to check with Larry. Could we make sure that the This Is Beloit link is very prominent in our City of Beloit website?
It is, it's right on top.
It is on there.
It's the first website when you go in under visit or tourism in Beloit. It's absolutely at the top of the list, so it's the first one.
But
you
could we
go
put
to.
it somewhere on the homepage as an icon?
That's right. You can put it anywhere.
It was for a long time when it was
Yeah.
first introduced. There was a link right from the
Right.
homepage. But eventually it rotates into its permanent location.
Okay.
But it's easy to find, but I can, you know, we can put another link out there.
I think
Whatever
that
the
would be
city
great.
would like is great. Mhm.
All right, thank you.
This is great, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Item 11, reports from boards and city officers, 11A.
A resolution approving improvements within State Line Restoration Prairie Park located at 540 Colby Street. The Plan Commission recommended approval 6-0, and the Parks, Recreation, and Conservation Advisory Commission recommended approval 4-0.
Mrs. Christensen?
This project went through Plan Commission review just because it's an improvement in a public park, which requires the Plan Commission review. The plan is to connect the Wheeler Bridge in South Beloit to the Turtle Creek Path, and the new path will be on the east end of the State Line Restoration Prairie Park, and then a sidewalk will connect to the existing path system in the park. This project is located on existing park property and the public right-of-way, so no easements are required. There was a project map included in your report which shows how that will be connected down, and then it will cross Colby, and then there'll be a sidewalk to connect it to the existing path system in the park. Plan Commission reviewed this item on December 17th, 2014, and voted unanimously 6-0 to recommend approval of the proposed improvements. And the Parks and Recreation Conservation Advisory Commission met on December 10th and approved this project 4-0.
Thank you. Do you have a motion for approval? Moved by DeForest, second by Kincaid. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the matter. All in favor, say aye. 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 Any opposed? Item passes 5-0. Final part of our agenda is the adjournment, number 12.
To adjourn.
Moved by Hendricks. Second by Lubke.
The students are a little louder.
Exactly. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned. What?